Samara Levy is the founder and driving force behind Samaras Aid Appeal, an initiative that started in 2014 with an email to the mothers in her son's school. What happened next is really nothing short of amazing. Samara, good to connect with you on Skype today. And since that day in August of 2014, that very first email, I think 50 or so containers and tractor-trailer loads of supplies have gone to help refugees that are fleeing the conflict in Syria and Iraq. But if you could take us back to how this all started, what motivated you to decide to do something to help the people that are suffering so much in the Middle East?
I heard in the media that there were children living in refugee camps in the Middle East and there was snow on the ground. These people didn't have enough clothes, they had fled in summer, and the children were wearing flip-flops. And it just broke my heart, actually, to think that that was possible in this day and age, and that any child should have to wear flip-flops in the snow. And as a mother with a small child that had just started learning to walk, I just didn't feel it was something that could be ignored. When I prayed about it, I felt that God asked me to start collecting. That happened 3 times over the space of 8 months. He asked me to start collecting. And it started with just a vision to fill 1 lorry and has grown enormously since then.
Yeah, did you expect the response to be as overwhelming as it has over these last 2 years? You know, he said start collecting, and he reminded you twice and you finally got to it. But did you expect this kind of response to where today over 50 tractor-trailer loads and containers of supplies have been collected all throughout the UK?
I would never have expected it, and to be honest with you, if someone had told me at the time that this is what we would be doing in 2 years, I may well have just run a mile. But no, it started with just a vision to fill 1 lorry. At the time, that seemed like the ultimate aim. You know, what more could I aim for? But since then, we've clothed more than 120,000 people. We've sent 11 ambulances to Syria. We're just in the process of trying to open our 3rd hospital there. And we're also starting a project caring for orphans and widows from the conflict in Syria.
Why do you think that the appeal has resonated so deeply with people all across the United Kingdom to get up and to do something and to not just volunteer their time and to pack these lorry loads, but also to make those donations and to gather the materials to send?
I think that seeing children suffering, seeing families fleeing from groups like ISIS is something that it's hard for anyone not to relate to that. And I think one of the reasons that this appeal does resonate with people is because we are asking people to help in a very practical way. We are asking people to give their clothes, things which they already have. We're asking them to give their time, which is something that, most people have a little time that they can give. We're asking people to give their skills, their experience. It's not just a standard charity ask. It's not just money that we're asking for. And I think people are so glad to be able to do something practical to help, as well as giving money. They often want to do something that is tangible, that they feel is going to make a difference.
That leads me to ask, what difference is it making? I know it's difficult to get personally to go to places like where you're ministering to in Syria, the cities that are under siege and under attack. What kind of response have you been able to receive from the folks that have been receiving this help? I know it's largely done through churches that are in Syria.
We're working in 2 main countries, so Syria is one of them and Iraq is the other. And, it's making a big difference. I mean, the people that we're helping, particularly with winter aid, are living in high altitude areas where they have snow, temperatures reach below 0 in the winter. And many of these people are living in very tough environments, in tents, sometimes in animal sheds with no windows or doors. It's freezing. I mean, that is clearly going to make a difference if these people have warm winter clothes. In terms of the medical aid, well, for example, we treated a man recently who, we opened a hospital in an area where there were no hospitals. People would have to travel for hours to reach emergency care if they needed it. A man was shot in the abdomen and he was brought into our hospital. He had lost a lot of blood when he arrived. The person who arrived with him sadly died because it was too far to get to hospital. It took an hour and a half. He was given a blood transfusion immediately and we operated on him immediately for 4.5 hours. if our hospital hadn't been there, he would certainly have died as well. He had 2 young girls and a wife, and if our hospital hadn't been there, then that would be another family that have lost a breadwinner.
So now, as we're approaching another winter season, Samara, what are the pressing needs that you're hearing about on the ground there in Syria and Iraq, and what is Samara's Aid Appeal focusing on for these next few months ahead?
So we are collecting at the moment. We have a network of collectors across the UK, one in Ireland. We have we do sometimes do collections abroad if there is a group that is active enough and committed enough to be able to fill a whole lorry or container. So we have a network of collectors across the UK. There's more than 122 churches and individuals collecting at the moment for us. Next week is our deadline. They're going to be bringing it to us, and we will be packing it all up into lorry containers and sending it abroad. So that's one thing that we're doing, and we're also asking people to help us fundraise for the hospitals that we're running. We're looking to develop those a little bit more to provide extra emergency services that are needed. In the conflict, many people are being injured. We're providing an emergency service, so we have an emergency room, an intensive care unit, and at least one operating theatre. So we're looking to expand some of those services to include obstetrics and paediatrics, because those are essential emergency services too. So that's another arm of what we're doing, and we're also we're actually aiming to raise £20,000 a month to support those hospitals. We've got just over £6,000 a month for that, but we've still got a little way to go. Additionally, we're also looking to support families with orphans and widows in Syria who have no way of supporting themselves financially, and it's really about providing basic food aid for them.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Samara. I want to say we're behind you 100%, and want to encourage our friends right now to find out more about this amazing ministry that's reaching into one of the hardest places in the world to go and to bring aid and help to the needy in Syria and Iraq. SamarasAidAppeal.org is the website to get more information and to be a part of this. You can always go to our website, harvest-tv.com. You'll find an easy way to link back to Samara Levy's site and to be an agent of change in this part of the world which has been suffering so much over these last 5 years or so. God bless you, Samara. Thank you very much. And we've got more coming up on Harvest in just a moment.